Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 29 based on novel. So let's start. In the quiet hall, the faint fragrance of flowers lingers, and several people are also laughing about the family affairs. Yueru is also sitting in the hall, but her delicate cheeks are already full of impatience. He's been in the wooden house for more than 10 days, why hasn't he recovered yet? After sitting for a while again, Yueru finally jumped down uncontrollably and said, "Alchemy is time-consuming, so I can't be in a hurry." Yu put down the yellowish-colored book in her hand, glanced at the direction of the wooden house, and said, "Wait a little longer, it should be faster." "Already? You have said this sentence almost 10 times. Yueru pouted and muttered, and had to sit back in the chair again, but just as she sat down, the whole room suddenly trembled violently. One time. The sudden fragrance and thunder also made Yueru and Yueru slightly startled, and then their eyes moved to the direction of the wooden house where an abnormally strong energy fluctuation was rapidly taking shape. It seems that alchemy is going to be successful. Feeling the strong energy fluctuations, Yueru's eyes flashed with joy. Although he is not a pharmacist, he has been well informed over the years. Naturally, he knows that some high-level alchemy, when the medicine takes shape, there will be some movement. Imperial medicine pill, is it going to be born? Xiao Yan, he actually succeeded? Yueru raised her head and looked at the dark clouds in the sky. A trembling excitement quietly grew in her heart. Be careful, don't let people come to disturb you. There are many people around Qingcheng, and there are many strong people. The movement here can't be hidden from everyone. Yu said solemnly. However, as soon as his voice fell, the energy fluctuations in the wooden house suddenly skyrocketed to a terrifying level. Immediately, only a bang was heard, and an energy beam of about several feet was shot directly from the wooden house. And finally pierced the ceiling and shot into the sky. Looking at the beam of light that pierced the ceiling and rushed into the sky, even Yueru's face changed slightly, and she frowned slightly and whispered, "What kind of medicinal pill is Xiao Yang refining? It's so big, it seems that the entire Qingcheng has to be disturbed." "Father." At the end of the words, Yueru's words were full of coldness. Hey, since that dark disease possessed me, I haven't shown up for a long time. I have to show up to frighten those old monsters with bad intentions." A cold light flashed across Yu's grey-purple eyes. This kind of movement will definitely attract the peeps of some 4-star Do Emperor powerhouses. If any old man is immortal, if he interfered with his heart ruthlessly and casually, it would probably cause a lot of damage to Xiao Yang. The voice fell, and Yu's figure moved, and she disappeared into the room strangely. When she reappeared, she was already on the roof, her indifferent eyes, and slowly swept towards the surroundings. Just as Yueru and the others had expected, the beam of light that suddenly shot up into the sky almost immediately caught the attention of many strong people in Qingcheng. They felt the pure energy contained in the beam of light. The young people were all astonished, and immediately swept out of the room. In less than a minute, in an attic outside the wooden house where Xiao Yang was, the buildings outside the attic and the treetops, it was full of people standing there. With close viewing, some powerhouses finally recognized the source of the beam of light, and exclamations resounded. "It should be that kid Xiao Yang who looks at it. He wants to see him for a few short days, but his refining skills have improved." In a sophisticated room of the Refining Medicine Association, a white-haired old man looked at him. The moon-soaring beam of light muttered to herself. Xiao Yang's special flame by Ruoke remembered very clearly. The beam of light is filled with danxiang, and it seems that someone is refining elixirs in that room. Although high-level medicinal pills can cause some movement, unless it looks like an imperial medicinal pill? Could it be by Ruo from the Alchemist Association? As more and more powerhouses appeared around the pavilion, the whispers became more and more. Some people who heard these words looked at the beam of light with a touch of greed gradually, which could cause this kind of greed. A moving medicinal pill is by no means an ordinary thing. "Call out!" The sound of breaking wind suddenly sounded, and then some figures flashed over, and finally suspended in the sky, looking at the beam of light rising into the sky with amazement. "I didn't expect that there are such masters of medicine refining in this Qingcheng. I really don't know who is the holy person who refines medicine pills." On one place, more than a dozen figures stood in the air, and a bald leader said in surprise, "Yeah, looking at this movement, I'm afraid that the medicinal pill will soon reach the 9th grade level. Even I can't refine it." Beside the bald head, a man's face was full of solemnity. The bald head frowned slightly, but shook his head slightly, and his eyes swept over the burly man in the sky again. For some reason, the latter always gave him a faint sense of danger. I didn't expect Lian Yu, the old guy, you also came out, but this time it was a little troublesome to snipe Xiao Yan. Mueller slowly retracted his gaze and frowned. According to the news they received, Xiao Yan had been living in the Yu family since the ruins came out. Since Mueller was injured by Xiao Yan in the ruins, Mueller has held a grudge. Later, when they encountered a mysterious white robe, they had no chance of being with that great fortune. With his father and a group of people preparing to find the place. Just kill him together. The grey-robed man's sleeves trembled slightly, and his indifferent voice drifted out. I am more curious about who this alchemist is, and he can refine this kind of elixirs. Presumably, Baisu of the Alchemist Association, who is in the Alchemist Association, is not too arrogant. When did this Qingcheng have such a level of alchemist? However, this person dares to concoct alchemy in such a place. I think he should be at the critical moment of becoming alchemy. If he is disturbed at this time, it will be a trivial matter to destroy alchemy, and he will be backlashed. The grey-robed man was hoarse. He sneered in a voice. What kind of result does father want? The soul of an alchemist at this level is probably very strong, Mueller said with a cold smile on the corner of his mouth. As soon as Mueller's words fell, a burly figure slowly emerged from the pavilion where the beam of light was located. Those who are 100 meters away from here, kill. The burly figure appeared, and the indifferent grey eyes slowly swept around, and finally paused in certain directions. Immediately, a cold shout resounded through the sky. Immediately, the strength of UEU 5-star Do D was revealed. It's troublesome. The man in grey also looked solemnly at UU in mid-air. Boom boom boom. Within the Yu family compound, thunderclouds continued to appear in the sky above it. As soon as the shouting sounded, a majestic momentum suddenly swept out from the burly body, and feeling the tyrannical degree of this momentum, the expressions of the people present suddenly changed, and the sound of voiceless continued. Get up. 5-star Do D powerhouse? Losing his voice, he felt the cold killing intent that pervaded the air. Many people felt a chill in their hearts and hurriedly retreated. How is that possible? I didn't expect that this old guy's hidden disease is actually healed. This is a real 5-star duty powerhouse. Feeling the majestic aura, the man in grey couldn't help but be a little stunned. It can also be regarded as having a few sides. But this month's family master is a genuine 5-star Do D powerhouse. I heard that this guy had suffered from a dark disease before, and his strength was not as good as before, so he dared to bring his son and come to the Yu family to find Xiao Yang in order to avenge the ruins. But now that he has regained his strength, no matter what, it is obviously unwise to want someone under the nose of a 5-star Do Emperor. After all, the head of the Mu family is only in the late stage of a 4-star Do Emperor. Within 10 breaths, get out of here. When the grey-clothed man was horrified, that ice-cold gaze suddenly shot toward him, and the indifferent killing intent in his eyes made the elder of the Gan Mu family feel a little chilled. However, my heart is cold, but with the Mu family's status in this Wu city, although they can't be on an equal footing with Wu Huan's family, when have they been reprimanded like this? Mueller was arrogant, so even so, he never paid attention to the burly person in front of him. After all, he was accompanied by his father, so he was not as full of fear as ordinary people. Retreat first, find Xiao Yang first, then it's not appropriate to fight with her at this time. It's not a wise move to have a grudge against a 5-star fighting emperor. Just when Mueller was slightly angry, the grey-robed man, but it's the slow way. Hearing this, Mueller was stunned for a moment, then he had to nod his head, wave his hand, and slowly lead the crowd back. When Mueller heard that the man in grey said so, he solemnly looked at the burly figure in the air, a 5-star Do D powerhouse. Even my own father can't handle it. The people around them saw that the Mu family's strong men were immediately dismissed by the Yu family's people, and they couldn't help but smack their lips. The 5-star Do D strong man is really not a fuel-efficient lamp. Xiao Yang, you'd better pray that you don't fall into my hands, otherwise I want you to die very ugly. Mueller was also extremely angrily looking in the direction of the Yu family, and then said viciously. Such a vision that suddenly appeared in the sky also alarmed many people in the Yu family. At the moment, the sound of breaking wind resounded in the sky, and silhouettes flashed out of the Yu family compound, and finally suspended in the sky, full of people. His face was staring at the dark clouds in the sky. Dan Lei. Yu hovered in the sky, looking at the thunder that was moving around like a silver snake in the dark clouds with a solemn expression, and said slowly and solemnly. Beside Yu, and the third elder who took the medicinal herbs were also standing in the air. Under the power of the world, even they felt a faint palpitation. The elders obeyed the order and set up a large formation in the Yu family compound. If Dan Lei falls into the compound, immediately take action. The thick dark clouds in the sky almost enveloped half of the compound. Upon seeing this, he also shouted with a solemn expression. Yes. Hearing Yu's order, the elders in the courtyard did not dare to neglect. They all responded with a shout, and then swept down, and finally scattered in all corners of the inner courtyard, and the vigorous fighting chi burst out from the body, and immediately in the distance, they echo each other. The Yu family members immediately leave the compound and go to the front yard. Don't hang out outside. Seeing that many elders were on call, Yu felt a little worried, and turned her head toward the compound and shouted. Seeing Yu's dignified old face, even many members of the Yu family were extremely curious about the changes in the sky, but they could only obediently run to the front yard, and then stood at the gate of the Yu family, watching carefully. The thunder that slowly exudes amazing fluctuations in the sky. Some high-grade medicinal pills, once they are born, their mighty power will cause turmoil in the world, and finally a pill thunder will appear. Moreover, the pill thunder caused by Xiao Yan this time is more powerful than any one I have seen before. Alchemist, even stronger. After commanding this, Yu breathed a sigh of relief and raised her head. Looking at the heavy dark clouds that were constantly emitting rumbling sounds, he said slowly. Patriarch, look. Xiao Yan can take over this pill thunder? The third elder also looked at the young man in black robes standing above the wooden hut with his hands behind his back, and couldn't help but ask a little worried. After all, this is the residence of their Yu family, and this terrifying Dan Lei was careless. Hearing this, Yu was also slightly hesitant, then she shook her head with a wry smile, and said, I don't know much about this. After all, the Dan Lei I have seen are quite limited, but the one I saw back then was a Dan Lei. It was that pharmacist who had hired 3 strong men with strengths around the 4-star Do Di, just now to resist them. This time, Xiao Yan's pill thunder was obviously stronger. With his own strength, perhaps. It's going to be a little difficult. The jade hand tightened slightly. Yueru nodded silently. The majestic fighting spirit in her body began to flow quietly. She had made up her mind. Once Xiao Yan is out of support, he will take action immediately. Hey, watch carefully. If the situation is not right, you and I will take action. Although I don't know if Dan Lei can be resisted, no matter what, we can share a lot of pressure on Xiao Yan. Yu also glanced at his daughter, then sighed and said. Yueru lightly tapped her snow-white chin and said, I trouble father and the third elder. Although Yueru knew that a large part of the reason her father did this was because of herself. During the conversation between the several people, the dark clouds in the sky were getting thicker and heavier. From a distance, it seemed as if they were about to overwhelm the ground, giving people an extremely oppressive feeling. From the perspective of the people in the Yu family courtyard below, at this moment Xiao Yan, there are heavy dark clouds above his head. The huge sound of thunder and the might of the sky made people tremble with fear. Therefore, all the Yu family members and even some elders felt great admiration for Xiao Yan standing on the wooden house without changing his face under such circumstances. Hey! The dark clouds filled the air, and suddenly a black thunderbolt with thick arms rushed out of the dark clouds, and a dazzling light made the dark world brighten. Above the wooden house, Xiao Yan raised his head and looked at the thick dark cloud that was almost close at hand. The thundering thunder was like a blast beside his ear, causing a buzzing feeling in his eardrums. Why is this Dan Lei different from the one he had drawn from refining medicinal pills before? Staring closely at the thunder that swims like a silver snake in the dark clouds, feeling the huge power contained in it, Yueru's eyes also flashed with surprise and doubt. Because this time Lei Yun is more powerful than the one in the Alchemist Association assessment, I don't know if Xiao Yan can continue. Alchemist is indeed the most powerful profession in this world. Countless pharmacists, the biggest hope in their lives is to refine a thunder cloud that can attract more and more powerful, which means that the rank of the medicine pill is also higher. In their opinion, it is a great honor, and Xiao Yan is also proud of this. He clearly remembered that even when he was refining medicinal pills in the past, he had never triggered such a terrifying scene. Today's scene is due to the skyrocketing strength. After all, refining medicine is also an extremely time-consuming matter, not only cost-effective. The power of the soul is also not a small load on one's own vindictiveness. As the fluctuations from the medicine tripod became stronger and stronger, after arriving, a loud noise rang out in the sky of the Yu family courtyard, and immediately everyone felt that this piece of heaven and earth seemed to suddenly disappear. It was dark, and in the sky, the clouds quickly condensed from all directions. The cloud layer condensed this time is not an ordinary black color. As more and more thunderclouds condense, it is an extremely deep dark color. The sky is full of thunderclouds and black fog, and there is no thundercloud, but when people look at the dark clouds that are so deep that they can be sucked in, it seems that even the soul is slightly at this moment trembling. In this world, there are only some extremely precious 8th grade elixirs that can attract the 9-color pill thunder. Above that are the 9th grade elixirs or even stronger elixirs, and above the 9th grade is the legend. Among the emperors, this Xiao Yan is actually refining imperial medicinal pills. At this time, even the extremely experienced alchemy masters of the Yu family's complexion became quite exciting. Being able to watch a master alchemist refining pills at such a close distance will greatly improve one's own medicine refining skills, which is always very attractive to pharmacists. After all, many master alchemists refine pills. There will be strong guards when the medicine is taken, and it is easier to watch it at such a close distance. I haven't seen Xian Mole for many years. Yu, who was standing on the roof, raised her head at this moment, looking at the strange black clouds in the sky, and muttered, "It's actually a mysterious thunder?" The Golden Dragon King also said with a wry smile, unexpectedly attracting such a powerful thundercloud. "Master, what is mysterious demon thunder?" Xiao Yan was also puzzled, although he felt a familiar smell from this dark thundercloud. "I heard she said that when refining medicinal pills, the 9th grade will attract extremely powerful thunderclouds, and the black magic thunder is one of them, but the thundercloud drawn by refining the imperial medicinal pills has 9 colors of thunder. Cloud, mysterious demon thunder, earth demon thunder, and heaven demon thunder. Emperor medicinal pills are also divided into 1 to 9 colors of thunderclouds. Although the power of this thundercloud is undeniable, it is not too dangerous. Above the 9-color thundercloud is the mysterious thunder. This mysterious thunder has quite powerful power, and every thunder calamity is very terrifying. Guban Peiyuan pill is worthy of being a first-order pill of the Emperor's rank, and it can actually attract the mysterious lightning. As far as I know, this mysterious lightning is quite vicious, and ordinary 4-star fighting emperors are quite difficult to deal with because of the hard work. The Golden Dragon King also said slowly. Hearing this, Xiao Yang also stared solemnly at the black cloud that was constantly wriggling. From there, he felt an extremely strong destructive power. This kind of power was more powerful than the 9 colors that appeared in the refining of medicinal pills before. Dan Lei and Black Demon Lei, I don't know how many times stronger. In the distant sky, the black sound layer was constantly wriggling, and the entire sky and earth above the Yu family was silent without the slightest sound of thunder, but it was this deadly silence that made people feel terrible. With the constant squirming of the black cloud layer, about 10 minutes later, a square void suddenly and slowly opened in the center of the cloud layer. Inside the void, there was still a black lacquer, like the deepest black hole. However, just when this circular hole appeared, the cold hairs all over Xiao Yang's body stood up slightly, and the monstrous aura finally swept out of his body without reservation. When Xiao Yang's aura was soaring, in that void, countless thunder powers condensed together, and then an abnormal sound finally came out, and immediately a black lightning as thick as a tree shot out from it, and then quietly, silently, he swept away towards Xiao Yang below. Looking at this small black lightning bolt, the surrounding Yu family members were horrified and their bodies retreated sharply. Because they all know that although the refining of medicinal pills is successful, there is still one last step to meet, and how many high-level medicinal pills are destroyed in this last step? Xiao Yang stared at the black lightning that even he could feel some danger. With a flick of his finger, a figure glowing with a little golden light swept out of his receiving ring, and then appeared over the wooden house, and it was that golden demon puppet that can absorb Denlei. He also wanted to see if the golden demon puppet could take over the profound demon lightning. After all, the potential of the golden demon puppet that was comparable to that of a 5-star Do Emperor still made Xiao Yang quite satisfied. Boom! With a flash of black thunder, it appeared on the top of the golden demon puppet, and then directly hit the latter's body, but this time, the golden demon puppet, who had never missed a single shot in the past, when the black thunder melted into the body, it was instantly stiff. Immediately, the clothes on the hard surface of the body burst into a mass of powder. After the clothes on the skin of the golden demon puppet were destroyed, the following thunderbolts were also caused, and almost did not have the slightest blocking effect. As long as they were stained by the black thunderbolts, the extremely hard body became soft in an instant. This kind of thing was the first time Xiao Yang had seen in so many years. Xiao Yang's expression became more and more solemn. With the ability of this golden demon, it was obvious that he could not absorb the destructive power in the Black Thunder. If this continued, it would also damage the golden demon that had been improved by his master, the Golden Dragon King. At this time, he must take the shot himself. Call? He let out a sigh of relief. Xiao Yan stepped on the soles of his feet, and his figure appeared directly above the wooden house. He raised his head, surrounded by flames, and in the dark pupils, black lightning flashed violently. Looking at the black thunder that was getting closer and closer, Xiao Yan clenched his palms slowly, and with the thick clenching of his palms, the energy between this piece of heaven and earth was almost stimulated by some kind, and gathered in his fists overwhelmingly. Above, Do-D powerhouses are capable of controlling the energy of the heavens and the earth. At this level, even if there is no Do-Chi in their bodies, they can still perform attacks that destroy the world and destroy the world. This is the most terrifying thing about Do-D powerhouses. Let me, Xiao Yan, come and test how capable you are of this mysterious thunder. Terrifying energy gathered on Xiao Yan's fist, and among those many shocked eyes, a fist slammed on the black thunderbolt. Boom boom boom. Above the sky, Xiao Yan's fist with terrifying fluctuations and an astonishing beam of light from thunderclouds all over the sky collided. The space of heaven and earth is like broken glass, and the crackling is an explosion. After the counterattack, Xiao Yan also hurriedly landed on the wooden house to stabilize his body. This mysterious thunder is indeed well-deserved. Xiao Yan and Xian Molei just seemed to have a simple confrontation, but it was not the case. When Xiao Yan and Xian Molei fought against each other, Xian Molei itself seemed to have extremely strong penetrating power. Although Xiao Yan had a strange fire protection, however, there was still some thunder power transmitted to Xiao Yan's body, and the feeling of numbness immediately spread throughout Xiao Yan's body. Therefore, in the counterattack just now, Xiao Yan was indeed at a disadvantage. Not far away, Yu also clearly noticed a trace of Xiao Yan's state. Just as she was about to make a move, she had no choice but to stare at some old monsters hiding in the dark, so she had to stop. Then he frowned. Even with Yu's experience, this mysterious thunder was only known by its name, but it was unexpected that when I saw it today, this mysterious thunder truly deserves to be called an alchemist killer. And looking at the empty sky at that moment, the third elder's complexion also became very exciting. This kind of grand occasion is rare. Boom! Above the sky, a terrifying energy storm was raging frantically, and the space within a radius of 100 jong turned into pitch black at this moment. Down, all collapse. Looking at the pitch black space in the sky, the expressions of most people have changed. Even if they have lived for so many years, it is still rare for an alchemist of this level to meet Dan Lei. If they are caught in the energy storm in the thundercloud with their strength, I am afraid that they will not be able to support them for 2 breaths of time, and even their souls will be shattered in it. Then Xiao Yan actually dared to fight against the mysterious thunder. That is a mysterious thunder that is comparable to some extremely powerful 4-star Do Emperor peak powerhouses. When the elders in the attic saw this scene, they couldn't help but murmured in surprise. Then Xiao Yan is the peak strength of Samsung Do-D. If you have to deal with a mysterious thunder, it is not a big problem. But if there are so many mysterious demons Lei Xiaoyan can handle alone. The third elder, who was dressed in commoner, glanced at the sky and said indifferently, "The power of this kind of mysterious thunder is extremely terrifying. Even the ordinary 4-star Do Emperor powerhouse would not dare to take the blow just now. Samsung Do Emperor peak?" Hearing this, the elders in the baskets on the side were slightly shocked. Although they had expected it, when they heard the confirmation of the third elder, they couldn't help but feel a little shocked. They practiced so much. It took so many years to finally reach the level of the 4-star Do Emperor today, but that Xiao Yan, at such an age, not only reached the level of the peak of the 3-star Do Emperor, but also the refining technology is even more consummate, and so on. But they all surpassed them, which really made people have to obey. Hey, this kid is really unexpected. I didn't expect that this time he would be able to draw out a thundercloud of the level of Xian Molei. In the Alchemist Association, a white-haired old man also looked at the terrifying sky in the sky. Lei Yun laughed. Why does this person look like Xiao Yan? Impossible, how could Xiao Yan have obtained the imperial medicine pill? A bald head in the group muttered to himself. Mua, what are you looking at? The man in grey asked. It's nothing, let's go. The bald head muttered something impossible. Black lightning flickered in Xiao Yan's black eyes. Xiao Yan's palm lightly stroked the equally dark heavy ruler behind him, and muttered in a low voice. Boom! The black lightning intersected in the dark clouds more and more intensely. After arriving, the atmosphere of the whole sky became extremely depressed. After about 10 seconds, the thunderclouds all over the sky cracked open. Immediately, a huge black thunder about half a foot long and wide, with a loud noise resounding through the heavens and the earth. The black giant thunder was like a huge black python, staring at Xiao Yan viciously, and then spit out a snake letter, as if it was going to tear Xiao Yan apart. The black python shot violently out of the dark cloud, and the target it shot was Xiao Yan above the wooden house. Seeing the black python transformed by Xian Mole crashing down, Xiao Yan's eyes flashed a dignified look, and when he grasped it in the palm of his hand, a huge ancient ruler of different fires flashed out. The flame divides the wave ruler. With a low voice, the shadow of the ruler appeared densely in an instant, and within 2 or 3 breaths, it turned into an airtight shadow with the power of the huge flame, wrapping Xiao Yan's body as much as possible. Bang! The black python came with a bang. When it passed through the surrounding space in the sky, although it was weakened a little by the power of the flame, it still carried a might of heaven and earth, biting on the foot of the shadow fiercely. Immediately, the sound of explosions and thunderous thunders resounded through the heavens and the earth. Anger thundered down, and countless tiny lightning bolts were shot out by the ruler, densely packed like tiny silver snakes, smashing the entire wooden house. Crack! The shadows of the rulers are layered on top of each other, as if they are endless, they take over all the terrifying giant thunders. After a while, a low shout sounded, and several huge rulers suddenly intersected, and immediately shot out, slamming into the sky. Above the thundercloud that filled the sky was split open by the latter. With one move to split the angry thunder, Xiao Yan also took a deep breath, clenched his numb palm, then lifted the heavy ruler heavily, raised his head, and shouted, "Come here." It seemed like a tiny crack was caused by Xiao Yan's attack, and the dark cloud that was surging became more and more violent. After a while, the clattering sound resounded again, and a black thunder that was twice as strong as the previous one shot out from the black cloud again. "It's you who's waiting." Looking at the black sky thunder that traverses the sky with fiery eyes, Xiao Yan laughed loudly, and his hands formed lightning-like knots. "Huang Quan Palm. Break it for me." The terrifying power of flames appeared all over the huge energy handprint, and then emerged in front of Xiao Yan, and immediately shuddered, roared out, and finally met the giant with no flinch in the countless shocking gazes below. Thunder. Bang! The energy handprint collided with the giant thunder, and the huge black light and colorful flames exploded like fireworks in the sky. It was extremely tenacious and slammed towards Xiao Yan. As expected of the power of heaven and earth, but I want to see how many times you can resist. Looking at the silver thunder that actually forcibly shattered Huang Quan's palm, Xiao Yan's eyes flashed with surprise. He immediately smiled, and the fingerprints moved again. Because Xiao Yan also discovered that this originally terrifying mysterious lightning was slowly weakening under his own attack. Then, Xiao Yan's dark eyes also had a different thought. "Everyone, it's cold and put on clothes tilde." This video will end here. Thank you for watching.